Hello everybody. Today, for the first time ever in the history of the Fashion Bunker, top 5 fragrances for the month of April will be done from a car, courtesy of GPS Miss Siri giving us instructions where to go. So, I'm thinking, since, in this particular place, most of the time you're spending moving from A to B in a car, I thought to myself, let's do this in a car. So I prepared my bag with all the perfumes that I'm using this month, well, the ones I'm using the most this month. And let's begin with the first one. In the morning, I wake up and it's Bois d'Argent. It's very fresh. Now, if it's a hot day, this one is really good because it's a very interesting fragrance. It passes very cleverly from heat to cold weather. And it can handle both heat and cold weather. Now, when it comes to humidity, however, it can go either way. Depends on your skin chemistry. If it's very humid outside, this one can go sour in a weird way, and that's because of that particular type of honey note that's in there mixed with the iris. So it can, I would say, hot, dry climates and all sorts of cold climates. So this one is, to begin with, Bois d'Argent. This is the tiny 40 ml Eau de Parfum spray from Christian Dior, or from the Maison Dior as they call it now. Then this is you might have guessed because you've seen me obsessing about it. Now, and this is going to be interesting because I'm going, okay, so OPIUM, Yves Saint Laurent OPIUM. This is the Eau de Parfum. Oh no, sorry, this is the Eau de Toilette. You see it inside. It has the transparent little spray thingy. Now, let me show you the difference. I actually go for I wanted to take out the Eau de Parfum first, but anyway, by mistake I took the Eau de Toilette. So the Eau de Parfum, it has that black fake sort of string in there that's supposed to resemble the kind of the satin or silky string that's usually attached here and there to the pure perfume. This one, sometimes if it's not way too hot, or even in the morning, I would go directly for this one. There's just the incensey, clovey touch to it. It's never sweet, but it's always warm. It's delicious. This one is less warm. This one is but I'm going to make a comparison between all of them because, and this is the reveal that I wanted to make to show you how I, in reality, travel with pure perfumes. You remember, let me take these down, cue in the photo now here, the pure perfume of OPIUM. Now, the pure perfume of OPIUM is a 15 milliliter splash bottle, which I purchase in Europe because in America it's discontinued, so it's really difficult to get. It's really, really hard to get. They're basically, I think that also France will be discontinuing it because sales aren't the best. Like, how can sales be so good if nobody's really buying it? But when I travel, it's not pretty, but this is what I do. I pour my 15 ml into a 15 milliliter. I pour the 15 milliliter splash into a 15 ml spray bottle. I get this in the pharmacy. So this is glass that protects from light. So I'm down to, it was full when I left a couple of weeks ago. So now it's like we're halfway through. Very practical for traveling because as beautiful as the pure splash bottle is, this is the way to go for me when I'm traveling, because I've had really bad experiences in the past. These splash bottles of pure perfumes are not the cheapest. They're quite expensive, and I don't want to have these bad, nasty experiences over and over and over again. So this is what I do, and since I have this, never had a problem. Just don't mix your perfumes, meaning once this is empty, no, this is actually a 20 ml glass bottle, but there's 15 ml inside. Once they're empty, don't put another perfume in it. Just keep this one always for one particular fragrance. Buy another bottle for other fragrances. This one was literally $1.50. Including the sprayer, the bottle and the spray. You gotta buy them separate. So the pure perfume is the best of the 3 concentrations, but we'll get to it soon. I think it merits a video on its own comparing the three formulations. What am I saying? I meant concentrations. It's the best of the three concentrations. It does merit a more in-depth video, so we're gonna get to it soon. But Opium works for me, in particular in the Pure Perfume and in the Eau de Parfum concentration, from the morning into the evening. The Eau de Toilette maybe at night. Moving on, I'm looking for, they're all like packaged really safely because I don't want them to get damaged and scratch each other. So there's like bags and bags and bags. Anyway, this beauty here, Poison by Christian Dior. This is the Eau de Toilette, the current formulation that you find in stores now. You know, we talk a lot about reformulations. We talk a lot about how perfumes are different nowadays, how they're the 80s variations, or, you know, for other brands that have existed since 1800s, how the things are not the same. Perfumes are not the same. They don't smell the same. They've gotten worse. Yes, in most cases, they're not the same. A lot has to do also with our memory of what we remember the fragrance to be, and yada yada, what have you. But Poison, the current formulation of the Eau de Toilette, to me is divine. I love it. It's actually more wearable than the 80s version because the dry down has a beautiful, this one stays more tuberosy on me. It doesn't go, there's a certain vibration in the 80s formulation of Poison that can go sometimes bitter sour on the skin at a certain point, and it just doesn't, it fights you in a way. This one doesn't. This one really works. In particular, strangely enough, in relatively warm weather, this one works very well. I mean, it works very well at the moment. So it's so good. And Poison is one of those fragrances that is so good out of the bottle already. I just love sniffing it right from the sprayer. Even like that, it's just so soothing and calming to me. Love my Poison. So I'm very happy to have rediscovered it. You know my obsession for Poison, but the Poison current formulation, loving it. This is a 30 milliliter. You don't need to buy bigger. I know the bigger you buy and the less it costs per milliliter, but this one really goes a long way, and it's just so beautiful to have this tiny little bottle. I mean, because they're so round, it's really hard to travel with them. They're not like flat bottles, they're round, so the smaller they are, the better they are, and this one kind of just fits into the hand. So that's my number 3 top of the month for April 2019. Now we go to number 4, if I can find it. Here it is, hiding. Very protected because the vial or the bottle, the container, let's say, is very delicate because it's lacquered. Yes, we are off to Chanel. Wearing Chanel glasses, having Chanel perfume. April, to me, fits very well with the number 5 Eau de Parfum. Car is like all over the place, so you can't really see. Anyway, the concentration is there. This is a twist and spray, the Chanel logo there. These are refillable 20 milliliter vials. And why the Eau de Parfum and not the Eau de Toilette or the Pure Perfume or L'Eau or Eau Première? Oh my gosh, there's so many concentrations of this fragrance. Because this one has something, you know, this one was released in the 80s. It has something more cosmetic-y, makeup-y, lipsticky about its smell, and powdery, more dry than the other form. The other formulations are more wet. This one, for warmer weather, in particular in a climate where April can be also very wet, obviously, but this one works very well because there's a dryness to it, to its very high-dose powdery touch, and that dryness is just really, really beautiful for April, for me, let's say from 6 p.m. onwards in particular. Chanel number 5, Eau de Parfum. And then the number 5, which is not Chanel number 5, the 5th fragrance for the month of April 2019 is a very particular concentration of Shalimar by Guerlain. This is the Eau de Cologne. Now, the Eau de Cologne is very special. If you can still find it, of course, every Guerlain fragrance, especially these old ones, have been reformulated many a time over. Nevertheless, it's still Shalimar. It still has that pissy aspect to it, but for similar reasons why I love Chanel No. 5 Eau de Parfum in this particular month, I also love Shalimar Eau de Cologne in this particular month, because there's a dryness to it, a very sophisticated dryness to it, with the added classic Guerlain vanilla that makes it sensual. And then there's that pissy touch, which could be a civety touch, which could be something animalic in there. You can imagine those poor little animals in the past that would take their glands from, particular parts of their body to really nasty stuff. Nowadays doesn't happen anymore, or at least we think it doesn't happen anymore. So there's going to be some artificial, even Chanel No. 5 has civet in it. Eau de Cologne had a lot of civet in it. Eau de Cologne has been discontinued for several reasons, civet being one of them. This one, no matter how they formulate or reformulate it, no matter how much artificiality is in there, instead of little poor animals suffering or plants that are almost extinct, it's become artificial. But nevertheless, it still works. It still delivers that feel of sensuality and sexuality. So this one is really good for the night. Like in the deepest of nights, you go for Shalimar Eau de Cologne. So those would be my top 5 perfumes for the month of April. Hope you've enjoyed them. Let me know what your top 5 are in the comment section down below. And I'll see you very soon in the mobile fashion bunker. Love you all. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm also on Patreon, Super Dacob, all spelled together. And if you wish to never give up on love, you can check out my Never Give Up on Love merch. Also underneath the video here is the bar with all the links to the merchandise. Thank you guys so much for watching. Never give up on love. Love you. Bye. Bye.